Hello everyone and welcome to the Challenging the Spin podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. It is of course Galentines Day and I am going to be joined by the amazing Catherine, or otherwise known as Upside Downy. Catherine has been a friend that I've met since way back in 2021, where we first went on our very first pole dancing class at the Polar Size Studio. So even though back in 2021 we had never met, we never knew each other, we have since grown to become great friends, not just in the studio, but now outside of the studio too. And really we've just had the privilege to grow together in our own pole dancing journey, but also grow in everyday life too and celebrate the small wins and the challenges that we've had over the past 3 to 4 years. So I am very excited for this conversation. It's going to be just a nice casual reflection on Catherine's pole journey so far and what it's done in her life. And don't be sad if you didn't have any plans this Galentine's Day. Let's enjoy just this conversation. So thank you so much, Catherine, for joining me today on the Challenging the Spin podcast. Very excited for this wee episode because it's of course Galentine's Day. And I thought, there's no better way than to do an episode with my OG pole friend from the start. But before we sort of get into everything and your pole journey, which we'll look at a bit today, I thought it would be good to sort of set the scene because there's going to be people listening here they've maybe never met you or don't know a lot about you yet. And I thought, let's tell them who is Catherine. So, so a bit of a loaded question to start off with, but why not? So tell us a bit about who you are and how you would describe yourself to people.
I classify myself as quite a boring person, but with interesting hobbies. So basically, there's nothing more than chilling out at home with my husband and my dogs and relaxing and crocheting, which is such a granny thing to do, but I love it. And I've started stitching now as well, cross stitching, and I'm just I'm slowly turning into the granny I've always wanted to be. But then on the flip side of that, I do the likes of pole dancing. I work in a very male dominated workplace and quite a sort of masculine role. I'm a forklift driver, loading and offloading, building pallets, doing all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's sort of a mishmash, I think is the best way to describe me. So it is, but I have to say pole is definitely the kind of highlight of my week and my month and my year.
So I think it was good to just sort of know a bit about who you are, and you're definitely underselling yourself because you are by no means boring whatsoever. We're going to start right from the start, which I think is always the best place to start, sometimes the scariest place to start, but just sort of give us a bit of what was going on in your life when you thought, yeah, let's start pole. We started pole obviously at the exact same time, so 2021.
Yep.
21. I always get that wrong.
That's why it's in my Instagram .21.
Love
so
it.
Don't forget the year.
Love it. So we started together 2021. What was going on in your life a little bit before that and up to that time?
So yeah, basically COVID was a thing.
Lucky us.
That we got to survive. And I remember saying to one of my friends that I'd always wanted to try pole dancing. I'd seen the likes of burlesque movies and Moulin Rouge and all that sort of stuff. Loved Cirque du Soleil, loved all that kind of stuff, and was there's pole dancing studios in Belfast. I'm gonna do it. I've survived a plague. I can do the thing that scares me. So I looked around at a load of different studios. Polar Size was the one that had it on a Thursday night at a time that suited me, and I was right, okay, let's do this. I was in a job that I finished at 5:30 every day, so I had enough time to go and do it. Set hours, no shift work or anything. So I was right. So signed up, said to my friend, I'm going to go do this. And she was oh, I'll go do it too. And then a month later when I signed up to it, she's I'm too scared. And I was that's fine. If you change your mind, this is when I go, this is my class. Even if you want to drop in. I was talking to Elle at some point before and she was yeah, you can do drop-ins and stuff. I was right, brilliant. So it said to her, if you change your mind, if you come and even you make it 5 minutes into the class and you go, nope, not for me, I want to leave, that I will walk with you to the door to let you go. Mm-hmm. If I'm not feeling it, I will also go with you, but if I'm feeling it, I'm going to stay, sort of thing. But I remember it was one of those things where we'd been all trapped inside and we're all just bored out of our minds. And I was I want to do something fun, I want to do something exciting. And then I told the people that I work with, because I've always been quite open with it. And my boss's first reaction to me was just like, what if you fall on your head?
That's actually quite a concern. It wasn't good.
He kind of looked for a second and was like, yeah, but if you fall on your head, you're going to be off sick, and that affects me. Sort of thing. And I was just like, yeah, I'm probably not going to fall on my head. I don't think we were doing crazy in the first...
Not in the first few classes, yeah. We got there eventually.
Yes, now we're doing all the crazy stuff. That's terrifying. But I was just like, no, like, I've read the wee thing, and it's very sort of gently bringing you into the vibes of the place, and it's one of those things where I'm gonna be okay. Like, we'll try it, we'll see. I'll probably, like everything else I've done fitness wise, probably do it for 3 weeks and get bored and stop doing it. I say 3.5 years later. So yeah, like that, I think that was the most memorable reaction, was probably my boss's. And then, like, obviously he said to my husband, he was like, if you want to do it, because he knew I always liked it.
Yeah,
so it was one of those he's never had any issues with it, sort of thing. He's just like, just try and keep your clothes on.
we'll try.
And I was like, yes. At that stage, my body confidence and stuff wasn't anywhere near where it is now. I was like, no. I'm wearing like 3 pairs of leggings and 8 long sleeve tops and a baggy hoodie, and no one will see what I actually look like. It will be a cushion and it'll be fun. Which obviously 3.5 years later is a different story now.
Love it though, growth.
Oh no, it definitely is. I remember the first class, Stephen was like, we're going to do sits, you have to wear shorts. And I was like, I don't know if I can do shorts now. I was just like, if you don't do shorts, you don't stick to the pole. So there's your options. Yeah. And I was like, right, okay. So, but saying that, like, I've got all my pole sets and all my shorts and all my stuff now, and I'm like, I'm happy enough wearing this stuff now. Like,
love it.
I don't really think twice about sort of doing it, which is really, really nice. It's a big improvement to me. Like, my husband's even noticed that. It was just like, you're just more confident these days. And I was like, yes. Is it a good thing? He's like, sometimes.
So that's so lovely. And we'll get to that too, of our like reflections on, you know, your growth, because I know people don't like to take compliments.
I don't.
They say no one likes to take compliments, especially in Northern Ireland. But I have seen, you know, from the start, because we both came at the same time, and we're now at level 5 together, which is mental. So we've literally seen each other's beginners, you know, the highs, the low moments, the proud moments, and now where we're at today. And that is the biggest thing that stands out for me, is your confidence and how much that has developed in you. So I'm proud of you, girl. Take the compliment. No. It's Galentine's Day. We're spreading the love here. But yeah, so you touched a bit on it briefly, sort of first impressions, and, you know, him sort of telling you about the shorts, and we were like, no. So first few classes, what were your first impressions, thoughts, and honest ones too?
Basically, I remember going into it, like, Elle had sent out a thing to say, you know, look out for the banner. That's kind of the only way you'll see it. It's just like a door in the wall. And I was like, right. And I got there and I looked up and I was like, right, this is the place. Here we go. I remember being like properly scared, because like I had really bad anxiety and stuff. I still do have anxiety. It's nowhere near as bad. But I remember I went in and I pushed open the door and sort of looked in and was just like, am I in the right place? And there's a big like dancer on the wall as you walk in, and there's a big staircase going upstairs, and I was like, do I go up? I've made it here. That's quite far. Do I continue? Do I do the thing? Yeah. I went up and was sitting on the wee chairs outside, and like there's other people already there. And we're just sitting on those wee chairs and being like, am I doing this? is this a thing? And like, I think I was getting kind of ready to be like, no, I can't do this, whenever like Stephen, who was working there at the time, walked out and was just like, right, come on in. And I was like, oh no, I have to go in now. Oh no. I just remember like filming the wee form and my hands shaking, because I was there on my own. There was me and a girl, Esther, were both on our own, and we kind of joined up together because everyone else had a friend with them. And we're like, I don't want to be on my own. So sitting filming out our wee forms and like talking away to each other, and like it was kind of nice because she was also nervous. Like, I don't think she was as nervous as I was. Don't think she was actually shaking like I was. But again, she's younger than me, so I was just like, yeah, you youngins are brave, it's fine. And then like going into the first class and Stephen being like, right, we're gonna do this, and did the warm up and everything, and I was just like, is this actually kind of fun? And like I remember waking up the next morning and being like, I can't move my arms.
The pain's real after like, the first week.
There's muscles here I didn't know existed. This is not what I want in my life. And But like, it was one of those, I left with a big smile on my face, and I called my husband on the way home. I was just like, I really like this.
Aww.
And he was like, okay. He's like, are you going to go back next week? I was like, yes, I want to go back tomorrow.
Love it.
And then woke up the next day, I was like, I want to go back today. I can't go back today. I'm pretty sure it took like 4 or 5 days for the pain to go away from it at the start, just because I just wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
And like, I'd been doing bits of gym stuff and obviously working quite physically. I'm used to a little bit of muscle work, but it was nothing compared to what I experienced in that first class.
No, it is very humbling in the beginnings, and you discover things that you didn't even think existed in your body, and the bruising is real. But no, that's so lovely. And I always, what Catherine didn't mention about who is Catherine is she has bright red hair, which is her iconic feature, and that is the thing that I remember at the first classes. Oh, yeah. So you were so memorable to me because I was like, okay, yeah, red hair. And so you'll never forget Catherine. So I just loved it, and I still remember you from the early days. And Stephen was just so welcoming. Shout out to Stephen. Yeah. I think the instructor definitely makes a big difference. Oh, yeah. Especially in the early days when those nerves and anxieties are there. But it's normal, and look at where you are now 5 years later.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
You sounded terrified saying that.
No, it's just one of those things where I haven't been sort of as consistent with it as I wanted to be. And obviously I had a very personally bad year last year. And I took probably about 4 months off overall last year with training and wasn't doing it at home, wasn't doing all the stuff. So it's one of those where I feel like I should be further ahead than I am. And like, I have to give myself a bit of grace because yes, I've been doing this for 4.5 years now, or almost 4 years now, but because I haven't been doing it every single week, like I can't compare myself to people who've been doing it for like 10 years. Yeah. I think that's something everyone gets with every kind of fitness or hobby or anything you do. When you first start doing it, you're rubbish at it, and if you don't keep practicing, don't keep doing it, you stay kind of rubbish at it. Mm-hmm. But like, you have to be willing to do stuff, and I'm hoping that nothing else goes wrong. I have had a year of issues. I'm just like, please, if everything could just go right for 6 months and then I can get a couple of my goals done, mm-hmm. and a couple of things and get to where I want to be, I'd be so much happier with it. But it's just because every now and again I think about, I'm like, 4 years, it's such a long time. But it's also went by so quickly.
It's actually crazy.
Like, so fast.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So it is. And like, one of the things I most remember was the day you got your GCSE results in class. And I almost turned to dust in the room. So there was me sitting at, I was like 29 at that point. And this child is just like, I got my GCSEs today. We're like, I need to sit down. It had been a long time since I'd done my GCSEs. I was like, oh.
So funny. Oh, I forgot about that day actually, but that was such a cute.
I remind you at least 3 times.
Oh, that is such a cute wee memory. I loved that. It was so funny. But yeah, this is a trend. Catherine thinks she's a 50-year-old woman.
I am. Until you hit 33, then you will realise all these young'uns come up.
No,
they don't remember things, and they never had dial-up internet and all that sort of thing.
but that just shows you actually, like, that's such a good point, because with Paul we were all in the same class, mm-hmm. and I was getting my GCSE results, and you were 29, mm-hmm. and that just shows you we're still at the same level. Yeah. Like, it really shows you that regardless of your age or where you're at in life, like, just go for it, and everyone will eventually catch up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's I love it. So yeah, so the early days, well, there's some great moments in the early days, some very funny moments too, and we'll get to those sort of high funny moments. But looking at the early days, and you really touched on it with your nerves and anxieties going into the first class, which is so normal. We all felt it, whether we showed it or not was different, but we all felt it. What advice would you give to someone that is that person starting out? Because I have a feeling people listen to this podcast, there will be quite a few people that maybe have never done pole, and there's a little bit of curiosity there. They just haven't took that sort of first move. So what's something that you wish you knew when you were starting off, and what you would like to tell others?
Well, first of all, when you find the right studio, it's the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. I was very, very lucky. The first studio I walked into was the perfect one. Yeah. Shut up, puller size. But like, because like, right now I walk into every class and I have a tripod with me, like a full-on tripod.
Iconic.
And the only thing that ever gets said about it is, like, Martina last start of the class, who doesn't want to be recorded. That's one of those where I'll make sure to angle my camera completely away from them, and anyone else who gets sort of caught on it, I will either crop them out or ask them if it's okay for them to be on it. Like, there's been multiple ones you have been in the background of. There's been, like, just loads of people just, like, walking past and stuff, and I'll either blow them out or I'll, like, cut it where, like, maybe I'll lose a couple of seconds of the move in the video, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But it's one of those, I remember the first couple of recordings I did, and my phone was, like, propped up against the wall and on the floor and awful looking, and, like, there's videos of me doing, like, a back hook, and you can see about 2/3 of my body.
Love it.
You can see the 6 inches I was off the floor because I was terrified at the time. But like, I wish I had a bit more confidence that way to properly record myself at the start, because I think I started recording myself, we started in July time, and in the August I think I have like 8 videos from that month. Whereas at the minute, if I go to poll every week and I'm practicing, I have maybe 60 videos a month.
Love it.
Which is insane. And, like, to be fair, most of them just get put into, my husband has a server, so most of them just get stuck on there and not really looked at until it comes up to one of the poll anniversaries, sort of thing. Or if there's something coming up, I'm like, oh no, there was a video of this. But, like, a lot of stuff is obviously saved on Instagram as well. So, like, yesterday I think it was, I found a really funny video where I was looking like I was giving birth to Faith.
I'm gonna have to insert this video. I'll actually take note to insert that.
Then Martina's shouting at Faith to move because it looks like I'm being birthed.
Yeah, I was basically coming out of Catherine's bum, like, while she was upside down in the background.
It's just brilliant with the camera angles, but, like, I'm wishing I had some of the funny moments, because there were funny moments, but I was only, like, I was going up and recording a bit, doing the thing, and then going up and turning my camera off. Yeah. Whereas now my phone records the full hour. And then, to be fair, I've been probably about half an hour of that at least. Yeah. But you always find, like, a random funny moment, or just means if someone's doing something impressive, I can just turn my camera around, catch them doing their thing, and then send that wee clip to them, which has been helpful for a good few people.
I think Catherine's got better videos than me than I do of myself with your tripod.
Well, Martine told you how to get the good videos. Don't use selfie mode.
Oh yeah, that's a good piece of advice, actually. Yeah, don't use the selfie mode on your phone.
So find a good studio. Find your people in the studio, especially. Record everything, because you will, like, there'll be days and you're like, oh, I can't do this, and you go back and you look and you'll be like, remember whenever I was like 3 inches off the floor, I'm hanging on for dear life and barely spinning, and now I look at, like, I do the same sort of moves, and I've put up video comparisons and stuff before, and it's just really nice to see how different it is and how much more confidence I have in myself with it, which is really, really nice. And also, don't be scared to show skin, because that was one of the things I was most scared about. And no one cares. Everyone's too busy hanging on for dear life.
Oh, genuinely.
Literally. And especially when you first do your sits, like, they're painful to condition, because you're not used to that, like, all of your body weight on, like, 3 inches of skin. And, like, once you get it, it's easy, and you can do it without thinking, and, like, I don't have to worry about that, because my legs seem to hold on to that condition, which is magical. Like, I haven't done pole in 2 weeks properly. I did a little bit the other night, and I'm going to do flying pole today, and I am a little bit scared for it.
I'll have to insert a video of flying pole too for context,
because flying pole's still a little bit intimidating to me, because it moves a lot more.
No wonder. It's really not attached to anything.
And, like, it's good fun though. I'm looking forward to it. But because I've had basically the 2 weeks off, I'm like, ooh, what's going to hurt today? Yeah. There's bound to be something's going to get a little sore today, and it'll be fine.
Mentally preparing ourselves.
Yes.
Such a good advice though, and definitely, like, I love even the wee funny things that you catch in the background of your videos. So I'm sometimes not so grateful for some moments, but we love to have the laugh back. And
it's one of those, I don't think I've ever posted anything dodgy on anyone without at least clearing it with them first. Yeah. Like, Martina's fair game.
Yeah. Oh,
100%. The amount of stupid things she has done, and I absolutely love it. Like, because it's gonna come up in my memories of the day last year, and I had been off for a few weeks because my granddad had passed, and Martine put on Akon's Lonely song and was just like hugging my pole and walking around my pole and looking really sad, and it made me smile so much because I was like, I'm going through a really horrible, awful time right now, and she's taken like a minute out of her day to do something silly and funny for me, and the fact that I was even on her mind, I'm just like, that's so nice.
Like, for context too, every single week we go to a Tuesday night class and Martine's our teacher, and every week Martine tries to think of a new innovative way to ruin Catherine's bit. Well, she says ruin, I think it spices it up a bit. Yeah,
enhancing my video. She's like, I want to ruin it. I'm like, please do.
Yeah, honestly, I love it. So we're excited to see what she's going to be doing this Tuesday. Maybe it'll be
2 weeks off. So
oh, here she'll be cooking something up.
To do something, so she does.
Love it. So just a quick pause on this episode to give a very massive thank you to our sponsors of this podcast today, which is Dragonfly. So if you're not sure of what Dragonfly is, it is a brand with a dragonfly symbol that combines the beauty of sports with perfect clothing. Dragonfly lives for quality sportswear and maximum exercise experience, and its main focus is of course on its pole dance clothing, which is why it is very kindly the sponsor of this episode. Dragonfly is clothing that gives the freedom of movement, and it's also functional, durable, but looks good too, which is very important. Today it now supplies sportswear to more than 80 countries worldwide and is one of the top market leaders in sportswear for pole dancing and aerial hoop. So I am so excited to have Dragonfly as our sponsors for this podcast. If you are interested in treating yourself this Galentine's Day, please do. The link to Dragonfly polewear will be in the description below. Go check them out, and thank you Dragonfly for the sponsor. But yeah, it's all those little moments that are the wee high moments that you have in pole, and the things that you just love and can look back on. Looking back at your journey with pole, and obviously the 3.5-4 years that it's been, what has been your sort of proud high moment times, the small ones and the big ones?
Well, because I know the last time I was here I talked about like just being able to do different moves and like the community and stuff like that there, but obviously that has changed quite a lot since the last time we were recording. Like my mum passed away there in November, and I got a big bunch of flowers from Polar Size.
I love that.
And basically every single person that I've ever went to a class to reached out to me to make sure I was okay. And for people that you see like once a week, for them to actively care and to check up on you and to chase up on you and to send you something like flowers and to do all this stuff, it's like, it's pretty magical. Like that was a really low point for me, but it was made better by the people around me. So it was like, that's definitely the amount of support and love I've received from Polar Size, especially this last year, has been the high point. Yeah. So it has like just being able to go on a Tuesday night, it doesn't matter what's happening outside, you go in and Martine shouts at you in a loving way, loving way lovingly shouts, and you're like, I can't do it. She's like, get up. But like you go in and she's got some story about her menagerie of animals in the house, the farm that she's got going on, and you know, you hear people talking about their weeks and nice things that have happened, and like if anything bad's happened, you know, we sit and listen to each other and talk about it and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. It's just it's the reason that I still go. Yeah, because there's weeks where I'm not feeling it and I go in and I'm a wee bit grumpy and I'm just like, I don't want to do this, and I end up having a great class because everyone's great crack. Yeah, and that's kind of the reason for me to continue going and to continue feeling as good as I do whenever I get there. Yeah, I just sometimes need to push out the door.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And I think especially with our class, because there's such a good mix of people in our class, and there's some that are, you know, really far ahead advanced. You know, I took a big break. I can barely get into a butterfly at this stage.
You got extended. I have video proof you got extended.
Oh, I held my extended butterfly for like 0.2 seconds, but I'm never been prouder.
At least 3 seconds.
Although 3 seconds in pole time is like 3 minutes, so I'll take that. But it is, and we all like bounce off each other so well, and you know, I think this is why we've sort of gelled so well from the start, because you laugh at that you're 400 years older than me, which you're not at all.
Thank you for admitting that.
Say you're not at all.
It's recorded.
You're not at all. But like, I think that's why we get we're so well together, because you've taught me so much advice, and you really encourage me in life. Like, we go on wee coffee dates. She's cringing right now, but I'm loving this. Like, we go on wee coffee dates like every so often outside of Paul, and we have just chats about life and stuff, and I have learnt so much from you and what you've done in life, and I know you don't believe that, but genuinely, and vice versa, I try and help you out, and we have some good crack and fun, and that's what you need in a class. You need that sort of different sort of life journeys going on, and people at their own sort of journey with Paul too, and we just go, we love to hear about what animal Martine's bought this week. Yep. And that's what gets us through. We love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So have you had any sort of high moments in terms of Paul moves, or like I know your photo shoots have been a big one for you too. Is there any sort of Paul specific ones that you like?
Like the first time I get a nemesis move, and for a long time, my nemesis move was like butterfly. And then it was extended butterfly. Now it's Naisha. And I cannot get closer to this flipping thing.
That bitch Aisha.
It is annoying me. But like, I even remember being able to do like a leg hang and take my hands off. And I remember the first time I did it, and I'm pretty sure I screamed into the place. Like, I remember I decided to teach myself a layback at home, because I was like, I can do this. And then, of course, I went into a class, and I think it was with Kaelan at the time, and he taught laybacks that class, and I was like, oh, I should have waited like 2 days. Yeah. But like, I remember having my mat, because my mat folds into 4, and it's quite tall, and having that set up, and like doing the lean back and leaning back onto the mat and being like, okay, can I get up from this? Yeah. And like, remember the first time I ever did it on spin and things like that. Like, I love doing everything on spin pole. And the reason for that is honestly laziness, because you don't have to like line yourself up to the camera. If you hold it long enough, you're going to get the shot. Yeah, it looks impressive anyway, you do it. It does. And like, there's certain moves you do, and you start spinning, you're like, oh, this is how I die. Oh, this is it. Literally. And then you have to kind of try and catch yourself while not rubbing your head on the floor at the same time. Like, yeah. There's certain downsides to doing it on spin, but I do prefer it. And like, I've loved all the photo shoots with Rachel doing them, has been incredible. And like, I went to her studio I think twice now, and she just makes you feel so at home, and any kind of prop you want, she has she's literally everything. If you're like, I want an inflatable dinosaur, she's like, I have 6. Which one would you like? What colour? Yeah, like there's so many things hidden in her workspace. It is incredible. And it just makes you feel really at home and easy, and like, she'll help you come up with ideas and stuff for moves. So if you get there in the day and you're just not feeling like you can hang from your ankles, then she'll be like, what about this, and she'll actually demonstrate stuff and point stuff out. And she is a little bit like Martine, where she will shout at you too, but again, it is with love, encouragement. And I just remember doing like a forearm stand thing, and she's like push that back leg down, and my brain, obviously being upside down and holding this pose for like a minute at that point, was like, which way is down? Yeah, literally. She's like, bounce the leg. I was sitting trying to bounce, she's like, more bounce the leg harder. And I was here, and I was upside down, like, I'm starting to see stars. Like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know where I am anymore. The blood is rushing to the head. The blood is gone. Like, it's left the body right now. And I remember after that, I lay down on her floor for a couple minutes. She's like, are you okay? I was like, yes, I am fine. She's like, okay, good. Let's do another one. I was like, no. So, like, getting through the pool shoots is like, and like, whenever she does ones in studios where you're sharing with another person, and the two kind of have to work together. And you also have to get all of your poses in within roughly half an hour, because you're dividing it, sort of thing, and doing like costume changes and stuff in between. Like, I love doing those sorts of things, because it kind of pushes you, and in an hour you're going to lie down. Yeah. And you do not have to move again for a little while. So it's really good if you can like find someone that you're really friendly with. I did one with Paulina before, and another one with Michelle. Oh, wow. So like, they're really nice and really nice memories, and of all little random bits and pieces from it still, and just love looking back on it and being like, look at me go. Yeah, love it. Exactly. The small wins and the big ones are so important. And yeah, those photo shoots are just lovely. Like, when you look back
you weren't wanting to take your shorts off 3 years ago, and now we're doing film photo shoots. I love it. So that was sort of looking back on your journey. Now looking forward, you said, you know, you've got your extended butterfly, you've got your butterfly, like all those moves, the nemesis moves you've achieved, and that's so lovely to see. What is sort of your goals now going into 2025 with pole?
I want this Aisha. I need to get this goddamn Aisha.
Honestly, Aisha is the dreaded name in our class.
And the handspring. Because, like, Martine can put me into an Aisha and I can hold it for about 2.5 seconds. And, like, that's great. But I want to be able to jump up into it or get myself into it.
Yeah.
I guess one of those things, if I practice it a couple of times a week, I would probably have it within a couple of weeks. But I don't practice it. So it's only myself to blame. And then I have to get shouted at by Martine for not doing it. But yeah, like, I think next term I'll probably sign up for flying pole and then do the level 5 ones as well, because of the offer that Polar Size does, to try and get myself to advance more than I have in the last, especially last year. Last year I'm pretty sure I regressed on everything. Like, I lost my butterfly and everything last year and had to get it back. And like, I'd signed up to pole destroyers and stuff like that there, so keep doing those wee workouts and things and try to actually get myself where I can do things without thinking about it, like mid-air inverts. I can get it. It's not pretty, but it's things like that I know I can tighten up, and I know I can do it. I just need to actually put the effort in. So my goal for this year is effort, to put it in, to actually be consistent.
Well, I know Martine will definitely hold you accountable to that one. Shout out to Martine. Yeah. But well, that's why it's good to have those goals, and when you achieve them and look back at, like, the first time we wrote our name on the ceiling and when you climbed the pole for the first time. So quite a big question, which I'm quite intrigued to ask you, not to scare you too much. But we're saying about sort of the future of pole with your own goals, but I'm intrigued by the future of pole in general in Northern Ireland. I don't know about you, but I have seen a big difference in it from when I've started. I have really seen it more on social media recently, and a lot of people around my age starting to try it now, and it's so lovely to see that. And it was not something I seen it when I was 16, 15 starting it. So what do you see for the future of pole dancing in Northern Ireland?
Well, I think, because this is the thing, whenever I first found pole dancing, it was when I was a teenager, so that was in the 2000s. Yeah. Which is why I can say I'm old, because that was like 20 years ago. No! Which is too long ago. But, like, the only way to see stuff like that, because the internet was not what it is today. It's just not. Like, I joined Facebook whenever it was first a thing in, like, 2007.
Love it.
And so I had found pole dancing before I found Facebook, which is kind of terrifying. But it was because my mum loved to watch all these, like, sort of burlesque movies. Like, remember seeing, like, there's Moulin Rouge, there was, like, Sugar, like, all these different ones where it was all dancing, and there was some of the seedier ones, and it was always shown as a seedier thing, was pole dancing. Yeah. It was always shown as a thing for sex workers to do, and it was always put in quite a derogatory way, which now, with the way social media has went, like, you can see all these amazing, beautiful people doing these amazing, beautiful moves. It doesn't look sort of seedy anymore. You know, that's still probably around if you want it, and if you want to do it, for absolutely fair play to you. Yeah. But it's also, like, you can go on, you can see, like, women in, like, full religious gear doing it because they've got sticky grip leggings and all now. Like, you don't have to be completely naked. So if you are listening to this and you're like, oh, I don't think I could do the short shorts, like, I don't think I have my butt out, you don't have to. Yeah. Get sticky leggings. It's fine.
That's so true. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make it, like, one of the girls goes to flying pole and she wears sticky leggings. And I actually think she has a bodysuit thing. But, like, she just prefers it. It saves her skin. It doesn't tear her up as much. I don't think it hurts just as much because the leggings are taking a lot of the pain away from her. Yeah. So, like, it's one of those, if you've tried it and you're like, oh, it's too sore on my skin, you could even try sticky leggings if it's something you enjoyed in every other way. You know, there's all these different options which weren't really around. Like, if you had said to someone in 2002 about pole dancing, they probably would have told you to go to a strip club. Yeah. Whereas now, if you ask someone about it, everyone knows someone who does pole dancing. Yeah, that's right. Like, it's so much more widespread now. There's so many more studios, because obviously around at that time it was probably just Polar Size was here. Yeah. Polar Size, the OG. Yeah. So there was probably only one studio, and without the whole social media thing to get everything out, it, you know, like they did obviously get a good few people in. Like Martine's been at it for years now. I don't know if she was there in 2002. I don't want to age her that much. But like, it's one of those things, because it's so much more accessible to the world. It means that things are changing for it, which is really nice. And like, you see all these different like cabaret acts and stuff in AMPM. You see all the different like what's the word I'm looking for, like showcases and stuff. And people are going to like support their friends doing pole. So there'll be people coming to the Polar Size studio that do not do pole, but they're going to support their friend, and then maybe they say something about another friend, that other friend wants to go, and it just sort of builds up. Like whenever I said I work in a very male dominated place, and I think there's only been 3 people that have said something kind of derogatory about it to me.
That's good.
So there is. Whereas I feel like if I had done it like 10 years earlier, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Whereas now, like I said, everyone knows someone who's done pole in some way or another, which is really, really nice to see.
Yeah.
Because like, I remember one of my therapists, and I said to her, like, oh, like, yeah, I do pole dance. She's like, oh, I did too. I was like, oh. She's like, yeah, I was in pole kid. It's like, oh, amazing.
Stop it,
yeah. Talking away with stuff, and I was like, oh. I was like, wait, hang on, I'm paying for this. Let's continue with the issues. Sort of thing. But it's just so nice to see. And like, there's a girl I know online, and she's a nurse by day, and she does pole dancing and stuff at night, and she goes and like, I'm not sure if she got into it, but she at least auditioned to dance for Snoop Dogg when he did his big tour and got all the pole dancers that way. And like, she was just like, I wouldn't have been able to do this like 5 years ago. Yeah. I would have been told to quit my job, to leave it, because it's not acceptable, whereas now it is acceptable. Yeah. So Northern Ireland does like behind things a bit in certain aspects. So I'm really, really hoping, especially doing the likes of this, because that video you put up of asking people on the street what do they think of pole dancers. Oh gosh. My hope is that you do that again in like another year's time, and there's a lot more people saying the good things. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, because I've even seen the difference like in the short space of time from 2021 to now. I have seen a big difference, and I do think a lot of it is social media and the context, and there's more just information about it, because people have these misconceptions because they don't know any better, sort of thing. They don't know anyone, or no one's really showed them or told them, you know, it's versatile. Here's other ways you can do pole dancing and different things. So I've definitely seen a development even in a short few years' time, which is lovely to see the response to that. Just then, to close for our final question, is obviously it's titled Challenging the Spin, because I want to try and challenge the spin and the conversation on pole dance and the misconceptions of it. What would you say is a big misconception that you want to just address or get out there?
Anyone who thinks pole dancing is sexy has never pole danced.
I was not expecting that one, but that is so good.
Like, this is the thing. If you look at Martine's Instagram, it's beautiful and it's flowy and it's gorgeous. She's been doing it for years. She's absolutely phenomenal. And then you watch any one of us try to copy her.
Oh gosh.
And you see the falling, like, I'm pretty sure there was a class and you fell halfway through the choreo, and I continued on because I was like, I'm not getting shouted after her falling on her butt.
No, generally Martine was doing the most beautiful choreography ever. I got a foot cramp 5 seconds into the routine, fell to the ground like a ton of bricks. Everyone just continued while I was screeching of a foot cramp. So yeah,
we did check in on you after.
Yeah, they always check it. Just they had to for the video. We had to keep going.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where the amount of conditioning and the amount of, like, you kind of do have to put your body through pain to make it look that pretty and beautiful and lovely. And it's even things like there's one of the moves Martine does, and it's kind of like a half pull up thing where she's like wiggling her legs and that's all lovely. I can't do the half pull up thing. So I have been trying to get this thing for months and I cannot get it, and it's one of those, I'm like, right, so I need to actually go to the gym and figure out how to do proper pull-ups so I can do this one pretty move and look pretty on a pull for 3 seconds. Yeah. But I'm going to have to go and train this bit. So like the amount of effort, the amount of work that you put into it to make it look pretty and elegant and effortless and lovely. Like, I love seeing all those videos of like when pole dancers have kind of failed attempts, where they've been doing something and something hasn't quite went to plan, and they continue on with it, and they get to the end and they go
yeah,
because like no one's perfect. Like we know that, and it's one of those things. Every now and again you get a moment in class where Martina's human.
it's unbelievable.
She goes to do something and like her hand slips half an inch or something like that. There's not in any danger or anything, but there's just it didn't go 100% beautifully, smoothly, perfectly, and you're like, she is human. And then she does it perfectly 500 times after, and you're like, okay, she's not in.
Yeah, humbling again.
She's back to being a goddess. And that's fine, but it's going to take me a while to get to there. So yeah, no, it's basically like you can make stuff look pretty, you can make it look good, but you do have to put in the work to it. Like, I don't know anyone that doesn't have a full, like, been training for gymnastics for 20 odd years that can just jump into pole dancing and immediately look amazing.
Yeah.
At it. You can't.
Not at all.
And we have all had it before where we've got stuck in moves, we've got stuck in certain positions, we've you know, too much grip on one hand, and you're like, I can't get my hand out, and you're sitting pulling on it.
Yeah.
And then you look back at the video and you're just doing this confused face at Martine going, what? You told me 6 moves and I remember 3 of them, and I have to sit like this until you look at me to tell me what I'm doing next.
Literally.
So there's a lot of failures and stuff goes with it on the road to getting sexy.
Yeah.
But it's not sexy to begin with at all.
Honestly, it's actually the most humbling thing sometimes. Like, you, especially when body waves are involved. I could not body wave.
Get them.
Oh, for the life of me, they're terrible. But no, it's so true. For all the videos you see of people achieving a really nice move, there's probably 30 seconds cut out of it that is them falling after it or before it. So
just lying down. You've gone, oh, I'm done.
Exactly. But no, it's so good. Thank you so much, Catherine, honestly, for having this wee conversation. I think it's such a nice wee way to celebrate Galentine's Day for anyone that maybe didn't have any plans this Valentine's Day. I hope we brought you some sort of entertainment together. But no, thank you so much, and well, I'll see you on Tuesday, Catherine, at our class. See you then, Martine.
Thank you.